There is a decision that Judge John Roach is behind closed doors making right now that could have a major impact not only on the outcome of this trial, but also on the public perception of it. The prosecution has used its strikes to remove 3 prospective jurors who are black. They made up 100% of those who are qualified who are black to serve on this jury. Now, the defense is protesting this vehemently, arguing that it violates legal rulings. As anyone who has followed this case knows, race has become a talking point even well before this trial because the defendant is black and the victim was white. The prosecution argues that the circumstances surrounding this case, being a school fight in a school stadium, make it, quote, race neutral, meaning that race did not play a factor in the crime and the makeup of the jury doesn't have to legally reflect that. The judge is expected to make a ruling at any minute. In the meantime, here's a recap of what happened earlier today. Inside the Collin County Courthouse, the process of selecting the men and women who will fill these 12 seats in the courtroom of Judge John Roach continued behind closed doors. Karmelo Anthony appeared on a live camera feed sitting at a table with his attorneys wearing a dark suit and tie, while his attorney, along with prosecutors, continued the work of finding a jury that would give him a fair trial. When prosecutors asked prospective jurors if media coverage of the case has led them to form opinions, several admitted that it had, with one replying, "I don't know if it's going to affect me, but I can't tell you those thoughts are not inside my head." Another prospective juror, who identified as an educator in Frisco ISD, where both the defendant and victim attended separate high schools, said, "This is close enough to home that I'm not confident that I could be completely fair." Potential jurors were also asked if the age of the 19-year-old defendant, who was 17 when authorities say he fatally stabbed 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a track meet, would influence their judgment, as well as his race. One prospective juror, who prosecutors identified as African American, said he would have a hard time putting a brother in jail. Anthony's attorneys plan to argue that the defendant stabbed Metcalf, who was unarmed, in self-defense after an altercation. Prospective jurors were asked if they would hold it against Anthony if he didn't testify. One prospective juror said he would, saying silence is deafening. It matters. It's difficult to ignore. But a question from Anthony's attorney, Mike Howard, drew the ire of several prospective jurors when he asked them, "How do you feel about the country's immigration policies?" A number of them refused to answer, saying it was irrelevant. And again, we are awaiting this decision by the judge on the defense motion to cancel these 3 strikes of black jurors from the prospective jury pool. The judge is going to make a decision on that. Tomorrow, when opening statements begin, we'll get our first look at the makeup of this jury. The prosecution and the defense both got 13 strikes out of a pool of more than 500 prospective jurors. That was whittled down to 250 today. But again, this is going to be a major decision. We're waiting, and we will bring it to you when we get it. Live in McKinney, J.D. Miles, CBS News, Texas.
Let's start with something I think some people may have missed here. Very telling. When the prosecutor asked him the question about the immigration, some of you may be wondering why he asked that question. I think I know why he asked it. Because the answer to that question tells him a lot about your politics. Yeah, that's politics. He wants MAGAs. He wants MAGA and people like me who are against, well, I already begun, so now people like me, right? But people that are against open borders, that's more of a MAGA characteristic as far as political, alignments go. That's why they call me a white supremacist, because for some reason, a lot of black folks are Democrats. We know the reason. Because they only feel like they got 2 parties, and they've been told so often that the Republicans are racist, and the Republicans don't do much to change that. In fact, they lean into it whenever it helps them win other votes, white people votes who are conservative or more conservative. But see, they want to make sure they get the right demographic in there. So they're already getting rid of all the blacks. Now they want to get rid of anybody who may be even friendly to the blacks, who may even be progressive. So they want to, you don't want to just get rid of us. You want to also get rid of people that, the diehard liberals, progressive types, the ones that may not be garbage, the ones that might be, fond of humanity, so to speak. So that's why he did it. That's what I believe. That's what's behind that. So it doesn't look good for Karmelo Anthony right now, man. This is not good. You get all the black people off for a reason. Oh, no, it's not racial. Anything that has mixed race in it when it comes to America is racial. Anything. I don't care what it is. Definitely, it's an issue. So why are all the black people gone? No black people at all. Damn. This is not going to end well, fam. It's starting off horrible. Because even if you say, oh, Tim, there might be some white folks that stick up for him. I mean, come on, Johnson. That's true. But the fact they dismissed all of the black. Here's the thing. If they dismiss all the white jurors, will people be so cool with it? Yeah, the people that are going to talk shit, what would they say if the prosecutor got rid of all the white jurors? We already know what they would say, right? We already know. There'd be about 100 live streams. There'd be 100, that ain't enough. There'd be 1,000 live streams going on every hour of the hour, on the hour. Well, white folks complaining. That's what will be happening right now. So that's why I try to tell people, man, you cannot fall into this thing where you like, hey, I want to be nice. I want to be a good person. I want to do unto others as I would like them to do unto me. Problem is, when the shoe's on the other foot, they're not doing unto you. They're doing you. Okay, that's what's happening. So you want to be nice, and they're not trying to be nice. They're trying to win, dum-dum. So then you can sit up there, let everybody go. You're at the intersection, the merge, being nice. And you'll sit there for 20 minutes. You ever made that mistake? You're going through a door and you're holding it for the person behind you, and somehow you hold it for too many people, and now you become the door guy? They don't even put $1 in your pocket. They just keep coming in. All of a sudden, you become the help. That's what's happened to a lot of black people because they're trying to be nice. They're trying to, get rid of the stereotypes. Yeah, I had to make some decisions on this channel. Was I going to worry about the way people perceive me, or I'm going to worry about what I know to be true? Am I going to stand on business, or I'm going to be liked by people that I don't even know, who ain't even taking time to go through my 7,000 video catalog? I think y'all know what I chose. So what I'm trying to tell you is that there are going to be people that are going to say, oh, come on, it's not about race. What are you talking about? These are people that belong to a group. They used to lynch our asses. That still lynch our asses. To this day, black Americans are coming up missing all across this country. And they act like it's not happening. Because maybe I take them at their word. Maybe they're not doing it. So because they're not doing it, they think it doesn't exist. Can't be real. You're just being a victim. You're playing victim. Because I didn't personally do it, then I don't believe it's real. That's all made up stuff to keep you complaining and to keep me winning. Yeah. So unfortunately, folks, this is not a good result. Remember, young Karmelo Anthony is looking at 5 to 99 years in jail if convicted on all counts. And the fact they have not a single black person on that jury. I don't feel good about this at all, fam. I'm just going to tell you straight up. I do not feel good about it. They would tell you it wasn't intentional, that this was done just in a pursuit of, people had different opinions and they didn't have the right disposition, and they would say they would be, somewhat compromised in their beliefs, and we had to let them go. Yeah, okay. If that would have went the other way, if it was a black kid who was killed by a white kid, and suddenly, somehow, mysteriously, somehow just during the course of jury selection, all the white people were gone from the jury. All the white people. Yeah. It'd be a problem for the white people. It'd be a problem for Fox News. It'd be a problem for various entities. It would be a problem. You know what? You'll never see that happen. You know why you won't see it happen? Because we don't have the power to do that. And even if we did have a prosecutor and a judge sitting up there, you know what they'd do? They'd fold like a box, a wet box left out in the rain. A cardboard box left in the rain. That's how quick they'd fold. Yep, that's how quick they'd fold. Because we don't stand up like that. Not when it's our ass on the line. We just don't, man. Very few of us do. Very few of us. I'm not saying everybody, because we got some people that stand up. Then they realize standing up don't actually get you much, often, right? So then those numbers become less. It's less likely for them to stand up the second time. But, I'm one of those people, I try to stand up. I do my best to stand up every day. And I'm just telling you, those folks, those judges, those prosecutors, I don't see them doing it, even if we had the power to do it. So, you hear a lot of people making a lot of claims online. They make a lot of content. If the shoe was on the other foot, and it was the black was the victim, Karmelo was the victim, and Austin Metcalf was the alleged assailant or committer of the act. And then the jury had no white people on it. Yeah, they'd be worse than me about this. They'd be worse than me. They would be screaming reverse racism. They're trying to replace us and all this shit. Now it'd be just a whole heap of that going on. But since it's us, they want to convince you that you don't believe your blind eyes and don't listen to radicals like Tim Black trying to rile you up, and that you need to listen to Officer Tatum. Yeah, and the Cartier family and other cornballs who are just out here trying to get some money. You need to listen to Anton Daniels. That's a good person. He's a good black for you to listen to. He says what we want him to say. All right, fam. I'm going to give it to you straight. I've got a bad feeling about this. That jury selection gives me a bad feeling. I do not see white Americans, an all-white jury, not convicting Karmelo Anthony of something. That's how I see it. Keep it real with yourself. I know it's going to be unpopular because, I realize that sometimes people don't want. I'm telling people straight what I believe straight up. And I'm not going to lie to you for the Democrats or Republicans, but I'm not going to lie to you about the reality of this country either. And some people make me feel like that's what they'd rather I do so they can feel better. I'm like, damn, what part of the game is this shit? I'm supposed to lie to you? Damn. It's getting way more complicated than I thought. So I got to not be a sellout. I got to keep it a buck. I got to fuck up my career. I got to mess up my opportunities. I have to say no to all this shit that will make me move further ahead, because nobody really, with it popping, want to help a brother because I'm competition. And then, somehow, while doing all that shit, I got to also find a way not to hurt your feelings. I got to also lie to you on occasion because you don't want to hear the truth about the situation. It's too much work, man. Can I just sell my soul or something? Because it's a lot of shit to keep in one's head. I mean, I'm one guy. And all I'm saying is don't look good. How would it look good, man? That 12 white people get to decide the fate of this young black man who killed a white kid in Texas. Do you really need me to say it? Am I wrong for saying that? That make me a bad guy? Now, I know Stephen A. Smith would never say it. He started talking some bullshit about kumbaya, and we all just Americans, and we all bleed blue, red, and all this bullshit. See, that's the thing. They don't like keeping it 100. And that's why I can't totally throw away Democrats, because some of them, even Bakari and Van Lathan would agree with me on this shit. They would not blindly be doing the everything's fine and it's gonna be okay and it's we all Americans and all that bullshit. See what I'm saying? And that's why I say, I can't be a Republican or a Democrat because both of them are full of shit. Get my point now? Because they don't want to keep it real. Because to be a Republican right now would be to deny. Michael Singleton is probably denying this. If we were having a conversation right now, would Michael Singleton admit America's racist and that the probability of Karmelo Anthony, him being found out guilty, just went downhill dramatically based on the jury selection? Would he admit that? I don't think he would. I'm not saying he's not a good guy. He came on his show. We had a good conversation. But would he admit that shit? Knowing what's going to be waiting for him on the other side of that? Huh? And that's why I can't rock with him, because they got people like Anton Daniels, they want to lie to you. He's going to lie for white people. Even though black people, majority of black people with a brain cell that works in their heads will say he's full of shit for saying it, they still want him to lie. Because there's 5% of black people that are dumb enough to believe that they really are in a post-racial society when it comes to blaming white people. In fact, they want you to believe that any racism that exists in this country is against white guys. So, I'm going to continue to track this story. YouTube been sticking it to me on this. I did a lot of work on the Karmelo Anthony up to this point, and they suppressed the hell out of my last video on it. Who knows why? That's what they did. But if you could go watch my Karmelo Anthony playlist, this will be coming out tomorrow. This clip, I'll edit this out and make a clip of this because I truly believe this is an important subject. And it's one of those rare times, in real time, fam, I get to show you exactly what I'm talking about. When I say I can't be either Democrat or Republican, because this is a perfect example. Because right now they will want me to lie, to toe the line for them and say, oh, America, but you got to be siding with what's right. And we have to go with the blah, 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 blah. And I cannot lie to y'all. I will not lie for Republicans. I will not lie for Democrats. We have an imperfect union. Now, we got some racist motherfuckers here. That's what that is. Can we say that? Oh, I'm sorry. That's too raw for you. I'm sorry. Get over it. Walk it off. Austin Metcalf was never in jeopardy of not having a fair trial. We know that. And with all the history of everything that's happening in this country, even what's happening now in this country, black people are less likely to get called back for job interviews. That ain't changed. All you got to do is have a black-sounding name. There you go. 40% less chance of being called back, even when the credentials were identical. And they'll tell you, oh, no, you're being a victim for no reason. This is just, there you go with your victim mentality. You can rise above it. White people don't have to rise above that. White people do not have to rise above black people throwing their resumes in the trash because they appear to be white. They don't have to rise above that. But we got goofies, we got liars and shysters and scam artists and scambos that'll tell us, other black people, working class black people, that we are being victims for pointing out the obvious shit. Oh, come on, Thelma. They like hire whoever's most qualified. They hire the best person for the job. Yeah, what you don't understand, for some people, the best qualified, that word best is relative. And for them, that means best fit. And for them, best fit is somebody white. Dumb. You were born yesterday? So there was never a question if Austin Metcalf was going to receive an opportunity of justice, him and his family. Because Austin Metcalf is gone. Right? But it's always a question. Oh, it's always a question. If a black defendant will receive fair justice. It's already bad if you don't have money, but it gets worse. It's much worse when you're black and you don't have money. That's the way our country's built. That's the way our country's set up. All right, let's keep it moving, man. I want y'all to hit me up in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. I think it's pretty obvious. So, if you just joined us, Karmelo Anthony may be looking at a very tough road, to say the least. Jury selection dismissed all of the 100% of the eligible black jurors. 100%. And to that, they'll say, it wasn't racist. Just so happens it was just what happens. 100% of all the black people that could have been on the jury have been dismissed. And you say, oh, that's just what happens. If you think I'm bullshitting, go see what Officer Tatum and go see what they're saying. Go check them out when you get a chance. Check them out. See what they're saying. I'm guaranteeing you that they're going to dismiss any racial bias and if they even mention it. Yeah.
Catch Tim Black live on the most dangerous show in America, Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Times. Don't miss out on the real. Stay dangerous.